Welcome to the Family First Retirement Podcast with George Politarhos. For more information, visit betrayawealth.com. Now, let's get to the show.
With retirement comes a whole nother batch of questions, conversations, even the concerns that we mentioned. And you've said before that one of the biggest conversations that you're having right now is about long-term care, because a lot of adults, George, they kind of put it on the back burner and they don't think about it until they need it. What kind of conversations are you having right now about long-term care?
I'm 59. I still think I'm 30.
Yeah, but in the morning, sometimes I wake up and I feel 65.
I do, because I'm wrong. I'm the huge letter C, and I get up in the morning. But we think we always have till tomorrow. Let's take care of it. Well, tomorrow's finally here for so many of us. When we talk about retirement planning, folks, we got to look at all the avenues. I don't want you to worry about it. That's why our job is. We take the burden. We take all the mental stress.
Yeah.
I want you to relax. So that's why we talk about your income. We talk about Social Security. Talk about taxes with Ernie Calais here, our strategic business partner, going over that. That's huge and so important. We're going to talk about when Social Security, your expenses, medical. Is it Medicare, supplement, Advantage? That's when Angie comes in and just lays it out in such black and white. But we need to discuss long-term care. We need to see what's the right opportunity. You know, Leslie and I are very blessed. We have two great sons. We have Alexander and we have Jared. I want them to not worry about how we're going to take care of mom and dad if something happens, or if mom has to go somewhere, dad has to go somewhere. Where's the money going to come from? We have a bucket of cash put aside, like most people, for long-term care, for emergency expenses. It's not that much money. People say I have $300,000 put aside. It's a lot of money.
Yep.
But for long-term care, going at $10,000 or $15,000 a month, it's not a lot of money. And Leslie and I just went through this process. Our plan gives us lifetime benefits starting day one if one of us or both of us go into or need long-term care. And what's nice about it, Mark, the process was seamless. And so many financial advisors, in my experience from talking to customers and prospects and family members, is my guy doesn't talk to me about this. Why? He doesn't talk to me about taxes. You keep bringing up taxes, George. Why are you bringing up taxes? Well, why would you go and buy a car? Name the car you want to buy. It has four wheels on it, right?
Yep.
And one doesn't move. What kind of retirement are you going to have? That dragging motion. I want those wheels to work together. That's what long-term care does. That's what taxes does. Social Security planning, income. It gets you in the right plan because you need to move forward smoothly. And when they're not talking to you about it, the answer people say is, I said, why isn't XYZ John Jones talking to you? He says, it wasn't his job. Wait a minute, you want to help me with my retirement, but that's not part of my retirement? Of course it is. And these people that don't acknowledge it, I think, are losing because they care about one part of your retirement, not the whole package.
Yeah.
That's what makes Betraya Wealth, this family mentality, because in Greek, betrayal means family. We worry about you like I'm worried about my sister Angie or my sister Barbara or one of my sister-in-laws, one of my 5 sister-in-laws on my wife's side. Yeah, you heard that right. She's one of 6 girls. But I worry about them. But I want to make sure everything's lined up. The taxes are planned for Social Security, income, get to live the greatest life. And that's why long-term care has to be spoken about in your retirement plan. Call me at 302-330-2166.
George, I know one of the big questions that a lot of people are asking you is about the economy. How is the market, a volatile market, going to affect my retirement savings? And then, George, we keep hearing the R word popping back up. Recession, recession, recession. I want you to hear this clip from Jamie Dimon. And he says that, unfortunately, a recession is likely.
I think probably that's a likely outcome. You know, markets aren't always right, but sometimes they are right. And I think this time they are right because they're just pricing in uncertainty at the macro level and uncertainty at the micro level, the actual company level. And then how it affects consumer sentiment, it's hard to tell. You know, consumers still have jobs. Wages are going up the low end, which I think is a good thing. But if companies start cutting back, yeah, the consumer sentiment changes and business sentiment changes. You know, no one's wishing for that, but hopefully if there is one, it'll be short.
Again, that was JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon on Fox Business talking about the potential of a recession. So, George, when somebody comes to you and they have concerns, should we prepare for an upcoming recession? How do you respond?
I'm a conservative. I vote for President Trump. And I think that people, and there's people out there to vote for President Trump, said, I trust Trump. I'm sitting on my hands right now because I know he'll come through.
Right.
The other people that didn't vote for Donald Trump say, I'm sitting on my hands right now. I don't trust Donald Trump. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Folks, take that out of here. Does it matter if Donald Trump's president, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, George Bush, Ronald Reagan? None, in my personal opinion, none of them care about us to begin with. Mm-hmm. Just so we're out there, my full disclosure about the government. But we need to plan for this. That's why having a plan is so important, Mark. You need to have that diversification. And this is a prime example. Right now, we're having a little bit, we take back in the markets, right? We see the markets changing. But you need to have other avenues. So when you have a balanced approach, you have buckets, right? Streams of income coming in, whether it's from a fixed index annuity, which is safety. We're never going to lose any money. We're going to share in the upsides of the market, right? But we're not going to lose any money. You have managed funds where it goes up and down, ebb and flow of the market. You have a manager handling it for you who's going to be on top of this, because that's what our job is, right? To be on top of this, seeing signs, protecting you as much as possible, trying to outperform the S&P 500, which is what we do really well at Betrayal Wealth. When it goes up 10, 12%, we're at that 13 to 14. When it's down, as it is now, 10, 15%, we're down 3 to 5. So we're fitting in that bucket. But we need to know where we can pull the money from, how we can go. This is going to be a really interesting time. The tariffs, I am a pro fan of the tariffs personally. I want people to pay like we're being charged. I want them to be charged and pay us. And that brings people to the table. Do we have a little bit of a pain right now? Yeah, we do. I think we've had pain for the last 5-6 years. Mm-hmm. But we need to understand that there's a light down the tunnel. Is the recession going to last forever? No. I like Donald Trump, okay? What am I doing now? I'm planning for what's going to happen after that. Who's going to be president after that? How am I going to be in a better place going forward? How's Alex and Jared going to be planned properly going forward? That's what this is about. So you need to get off your hands. You need to step up, and we can look at this together. But that's what makes this a plan. When you sit down with me, Mark, politics don't count. We're sitting on two human beings across from each other. I treat you exactly the same way I want you to treat me. And I give you the answers to help you go forward to be in the right place. Let's keep our heads cool. Let's work together. And remember, we are all in this together as a country. So let's work together. Give me a call at 302-330-2166, and let's start that process together. You have a lot of questions out there. Confusion, emotional stress. Let me sit there. We'll have a good cup of coffee, a la Betty Politarhos, and let's talk this through together and get ourselves lined up.
George Politarhos, a couple of weeks ago, had the opportunity to go up to Milwaukee, hang out with the Goo Goo Dolls. How much fun was that, buddy?
That was great. We had a great time up there. It was for a good cause. You know, I truly believe life's like a credit card, Mark. Everything comes due eventually. If you do the right thing, good comes back to you.
Yep.
And we were up there for some training with a friend of ours, and we had a chance to interview the Goo Goo Dolls and then see a great show for a great charity cause.
Yep. It was Christian Yelich from the Milwaukee Brewers. It was his Home Plate Charity Foundation. We got involved with that, had a chance to meet and greet Christian Yelich. Now, look, you're a Phillies fan. I'm a Braves fan. Christian plays for the Brewers. He's played against us against the Marlins forever.
That's not his fault.
I will say, great dude. Really good guy as well.
Really nice kid. Yeah. I call him a kid. He's 33?
But he's a veteran, though. He's been playing ball for so long.
Yeah.
He's considered a veteran.
Great young man. Mm-hmm. And what he's doing is helping other people. His whole team was, and what was another great fact was his whole team was at this concert and event to sponsor him, support him, because they're part of the community. That's what this is about. You have to do what's right for people. Help people out. You know, we've been blessed, Mark. I can never complain about a thing. My family's been very lucky, and we're in, but it's time to help other people, and that's what you need to do. And he's leading by example, this young man.
And it proves, too, that was a very rare day off, because once the baseball season gets started, Major League Baseball players, they only get a handful of days off per season, or once the season starts rolling. And they took one of their days off to be there to support Christian Yelich. And, of course, the Goo Goo Dolls were there as well. And George Politarhos, you can see the pictures from this event on the Facebook page or at betrayalwealth.com. And George had the opportunity to sit down with Johnny Resnick, the lead singer of the Goo Goo Dolls, and also Robbie, the bass player. They were two of the original members of the Goo Goo Dolls, and we wanted you to hear a clip of that conversation.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks for coming with us. And such nice to talk with the Goo Goo Dolls. I'm such a big fan. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been in this business a long time. What have you seen as being your biggest challenges and the evolution over time?
The music business is not for the faint of heart, I suppose, like most businesses. you have to spend a lot of time separating what's real from what's complete BS. That's annoying and time consuming. And sort of navigating the waters that can be a little bit treacherous because there's always somebody trying to pick your pocket. And, but then trying to create something that you feel is going to leave something of value behind, and going out and really doing shows and trying to serve that audience as best you can. That's the fun part. That's the good part.
Talk about the industry being kind of hard.
Yeah.
And you hear that saying that you're an overnight success in the music industry after 10 years.
Yes.
What do you have you found yourself, because it is such a cutthroat industry, how do you find the right people to have around you? Because people are picking your pocket every chance they get.
Yeah. I mean, you make mistakes and you get your pocket picked. I mean, that happened to us several times.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, and you're like, oh, okay, well, we didn't see that coming. Okay, what did we learn from that situation? And how do we not repeat that stupid mistake we just made? You know, but you're always dealing with things like that. And it's insanity.
We've been pretty lucky. We've been with the same record label for a long time, been with the same management for a long time, same booking agency. That's a pretty rare story, you know, for rock bands. So, you know, I mean, we've had a way of doing things, you know, for a while that has been working out for us.
I mean, the core of our organization is, you know, it's me and Robbie. And then from there, it's like, you know, our management staff and then our crew outside of that. And that's what really keeps everything running perfectly, is just that. And kind of staying as insular as possible, you know, and like, you know, included in that group of people who we actually trust and who keep this machine rolling. Our agents at William Morris, and you know, it's just our management team. You know, it's just they just make sure everything is moving. You know, because I mean, it's getting harder. It's like when I work with a lot of younger bands, and I don't like to offer up my 2 cents to them unless they ask me for it. And when they ask me for it, I tell them, well, you know, you guys are in a way harder position than I was when I was your age, because it was like the path, you know, you write the song, you take it to radio, you get a record deal, and then you get the song on the radio, and then they play it a lot on the radio, and then it becomes a hit, and then you fill an arena full of people. It doesn't work that way anymore. It's just, oh my God, it's so convoluted, and you know, it's impossible. Some days I sit and think about it, and I'm like, what? like how is this even happening? You know, but you know, we worked very hard, and we were very lucky to build a good audience, you know, that is growing still and internationally too, which is great.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for playing time.
Thank
I know
you,
you have
man.
a show tonight. Good luck. Have a great time.
very
Can't
much.
wait to see you all.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
It's gonna be fun.
And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't.
He made a comment right there, George Politarhos, talking to the 2 original members of the Goo Goo Dolls, separating the real from what's BS. George Politarhos, it's almost like what you do every single day.
Good day.
You're a rock star in retirement.
Well, thank you. That's exactly what we do. What he said was, you know, a lot of people go out there and they want to pick your pocket. Kind of like the people that just don't want to talk about the other parts of retirement, about your long-term care, about taxes, about Social Security. They have an agenda, not your agenda.
That's right.
And that's really what I think separates Portrayal Wealth from everybody else out there. We are truly your one-stop shop. We do the estates and wills in-house. Think about that. We do your taxes in-house. So what happens, Mark, when they do that? Instead of someone coming there and picking apart pieces of your retirement, everything's in one place, because every one of those wheels is working together.
That's right.
It's just the way you need to go forward and understand how your retirement works. It's what you like. So give us a call, 302-330-2166, or Portrayal Wealth, PATRIA wealth.com.
Insurance and annuities offered through George A. Politarhos, Delaware Insurance License Number 1373121. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties.